What's up, everyone? This is Erica Kane, and I hope you all had a very happy Valentine's Day. I hope that you were showered with love, gave love, or at the very least expressed some love. Valentine's Day is usually hit or miss. You're either showered with love or you are sitting there wondering what the hell happened. Um, Me personally, I feel like as long as you're able to breathe, eat, have a place to sleep, and in this case today, have a place that's warm, you're loved, and you just gotta learn to appreciate the little things. Um, Today, I had the pleasure of speaking with one of my best friends. Her name is Brittany Dean. Brittany Dean is a young entrepreneur. She owns her own salon downtown, and this girl is a definition of a boss babe. I mean, this girl is doing her thing. I was so glad to get her on the phone today. She is usually like the busiest person on earth, but one thing I do love about Brittany is she has always made herself there for me anytime that I needed her, and I absolutely love her for that. Today we're talking about self-love and forgiveness. Self-love is something that we really do need to learn how to, we need to learn how to love ourselves first, because how can you properly love someone if you don't love yourself? Anyone interested in being on the show, I was so happy to have a female. I don't know what to do. But if you ever want to get on my show, or if you have a topic, anything, feel free to email me at the House of Kaine, Kaine, at gmail.com, and I'll see what I can do to accommodate you. Just sit back, relax, and listen, and I hope you enjoy the show. Okay, today I have Miss Brittany Dean. She is the owner of Brittany Dean and Co. And you're in. Can you tell us where exactly you are? The
Yeah,
Cedars.
we're located in the Cedars, just outside of downtown Dallas.
Yes, Brittany has been doing my hair for years. As a matter of fact, she is the only one allowed to touch my hair. So if she decides to leave the country, I don't know what we're gonna do, but she she might have to tuck me in that bag. But today we're gonna talk about self-love, something that's really hard to do, especially during these times. It's almost like society makes you feel guilty for, taking time out for yourself and just, you know, and I do feel that that's one of the things that we need to do. We need to learn how to love ourselves before we can even love anyone else. And we're kind of taught to do
Definitely.
things backwards. And I know that
Yeah.
you are the epitome of self-love because you love taking care of yourself.
Yeah,
So, how
definitely.
what recommendations do you have for people who struggle with that?
Yeah, so I think that there's a huge misconception with self-love, and a lot of people think that self-love looks like a physical, like there's a physical form of self-love. Like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, I self-love because I get my hair done, I get my lashes done, I do my makeup, and
Hmm.
while all of those things are definitely a form of self-love, it goes so much deeper and beyond that. It's really about finding those moments to spend them alone with yourself,
Hmm.
not even worried about, oh, do I have to go do this today or have to go do that today. It's like finding that 20, 30 minutes out of your day where you can say, I'm going to focus on myself. And so, well, I guess there is this physical aspect of self-love. All of these things make you feel really good when you get your hair done or you go buy new clothes. There's a lot of things that we can do too that can really, kind of connect you deeper to yourself as well. I think one thing that for me that became super important when I was first starting, like really trying to focus on myself, was turning off the notifications on your phone.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, people don't even realize that that is
Yes.
like a huge part of focusing on yourself. Like, you get Apple pop-ups, news pop-ups, Facebook, all these social medias, whatever apps you have downloaded. Like, I'll get my Spanish little go. Oh, and you need to do Duolingo today, and I'm like,
I know.
yeah, you start feeling stressed because you're like all these pop-ups. And I think that was a huge part for me as I started the journey, was turning off the damn notifications on my phone.
Yes. You know what? I even called myself getting a second phone, and I said I was going to do just that and just make
Yeah.
that phone the phone that, that doesn't have to get all those alerts because we get
Yeah.
notified. Like I was even telling my friend the other day, I said, you know what? I hate to say it, but I'm kind of glad about the whole Trump impeachment because guess what? I'm hoping that's the last that we have to fucking hear about Donald Trump
Yeah.
because I'm just like,
I'm tired of it.
let
Yeah.
him leave office, let him do
Can
whatever he wants.
can we break up and move on?
For real, for real. I said, can somebody just
Yes.
please, and let's just call and remind President Biden that he is still president, or let's just send Kamala a
Yeah.
text and say,
And you,
hey,
and you know what's funny about saying that too is a lot of it really is similar to like a breakup. Like when you break
yes,
up with somebody, you could sit there and you could decide to be petty and you could say, "Oh, I'm going to slash their tires. I'm going to make their next girlfriend their life
yes.
hell." And like, yeah, we could go after Trump for all the fucked up shit that we
Oh
feel he
God,
might have
yes.
done, or
Just
we could
let
just find peace and move forward.
yes, yes. I am all about
So,
it. Yes, let him go
yeah.
on. But yes,
Yeah,
so yeah.
definitely.
But you said something very interesting because that's something that initially I made the mistake of thinking, okay, my makeup looks good, my face looks good, my clothes looks good, hair looks good, and then I'll be like, but I have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. So
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here looking all dolled up. So what is an example of something that you do that's self care that you love to do for that 20 minutes?
Yeah, so definitely something that I really like to do is take a hot shower. So
Oh yeah.
like I will set the whole mood. Like I will put on candlelight and I will cut the lights off and I'll put a heater on in my shower and I'll listen to some, not my daily, regular music that I might hear on the radio, but just something more calm, a little
Mm-hmm.
softer, an instrumental version. And I will, even if I'm not washing my hair or washing my body, sometimes I'll just sit in the shower and just reflect on my day and think about my
Yes,
my goals and what I want to do. And the shower is like a really freeing place because
it
too,
is.
even if you might need to cry or let something out, sometimes the shower feels like a safe place for people to do that. I know
Oh,
women tell me all the time they only cry in two places, and one is in the car when they're by themselves and the second place is in the shower. And so if
girl.
you yeah, if you think
Yeah.
that the shower could be a nice place to release, and we just use it as a daily basis to like cleanse and wash our body, but can really be a place of healing and meditation as well too. So
Yeah, and it's damn near like cleansing your spirit
yeah,
almost because
yeah,
that's one thing that I've been really big on, especially with 2020 and things like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Is just trying to like get the self love as far as the mental aspect of it because yeah, we can
yeah,
do all we can for our body, but our mental health is something
yeah,
that we drop the
yeah.
ball on at all times. So,
I'm glad that you
whew,
said that. So for me, I break down self-love into four different kind of aspects. For me, there's the physical, which we just talked about, and then there's the mental, which you just mentioned, and
mhm.
then you have internal, and then you have integration. So to talk on mental is obviously going to be one of the most important forms of self-love because that is something that gets tested on a daily
Oh yeah.
basis. Yeah, we, we
Mhm.
we don't, our appearance doesn't change so much from one night to the next, but our mental health state can definitely.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I think mental health, like you said, that's super important. There's a lot of things that you can do for your mental health too that are outside of just seeing a therapist or just taking a medication. But and I hate to sound like some weird yogi person, but like yoga
Mhm.
is really incredible. And like, I'm no expert at yoga and I go and maybe I don't know what moves they're talking about, or I don't know if I'm doing it right. But
Yes.
the only thing that really matters is that I showed up and decided to take this hour and invest this time in myself and my practice and my meditation. And so I think that yoga truly is a really great place to start when you're trying to figure out how do I begin to get my mental health in check. Before I started working out, I remember I went to this hot yoga class. This is like back in September, and
Mhm.
it was such a good class. And I remember at the end of the class just thinking like, damn, I'm gonna focus on myself. Like I'm gonna start my health journey. Like this
Yes.
is my moment. And I've been working out consistently ever since that yoga class. And it to me was just incredible what like 1 hour of sitting there and just thinking
Just
about
Yes.
myself, how that can propel your life too. So
Yes, just focusing. I love, 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 love yoga. You know me. I mean,
yeah,
because I love working out, but
yeah.
due to my health, I can't work out because apparently my skin is allergic to my own sweat. Now that's a whole
Oh
different
wow,
other.
yeah,
So yeah, so
yeah,
one of the things that I've still been able to do is yoga, and let me tell you,
yeah,
I absolutely love it. Because you're just
definitely.
focusing on the words, the music,
Yeah,
your breathing, your
yeah,
posture. And
definitely.
definitely recommend. I don't know if you've ever gotten an opportunity to do it, but girl, if you do it, I do it every night before I go to sleep, and it's called restorative yoga. Oh, girl, it's a
Oh, noting,
life changer, life
taking a
changer.
note. Love
Yes,
it.
girl, it's awesome. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and if it's but I feel like it's something that me and you have in common, and it's something
Yeah,
that maybe we should start being transparent, and other people can hear about it. Is
yeah,
I struggle with self love because it's not to speak ill of my family. We're born into different families, but I struggle with self love because I was never taught to love myself.
yeah,
And I wasn't really born into a family that was expressive with love. It's just kind of like, you're there, do this, X, Y, Z, don't get in trouble. I mean, like,
yeah.
I
No,
mean,
for sure. Yeah,
so how do you feel that, and I'm not saying you came from that, but what's something that
yeah. No, for sure.
what's
Yeah,
something
for
that you
sure.
can, how do you feel that you were able to transition to that point where you were able to love yourself?
Well, in some way, shape, or form, even when people have had really good childhoods, I realized recently from my own experiences that even if you had a good childhood from the outside looking in, there's still traumas and things
Mm-hmm.
that happen to you when you're a child that build this complex up of, do I love myself? Am I worthy? And self worth, like realizing that you're worthy. It's like it's so hard because even if you do all these practices of self-love, you still have to figure out, how do I integrate the things that I know into my life on a daily basis so that I can continue on this process of self-love, and also just can always knowing my worth too. And I think that definitely family, and the people that are around you have a lot, they definitely affect who you become as an adult and how you view yourself and the
Mm-hmm.
words that people say. And so, with that being said, integration is super, super important. Not only just taking what maybe you hear on a podcast or what somebody says to you as you're venting with a friend, but learning, how do I work this into my daily life? And so
Yeah.
I went through that recently with my mom. I struggle. Me and you have had these
Yeah.
conversations where we struggle with having a good female role model that we feel is motherly. And
Yes.
so something that I've recently learned for me, that's, I know I'm really trying to integrate into my life, is like, for one, forgiving my mother for not being the person who I expected her to be. And
Mm-hmm.
then for two, realizing that this person is doing the best that they know
Yeah.
how. This is all they know how to do, and we're expecting sometimes them to be somebody that they can't be.
Yes.
And therefore we put these pressures on them, and then when they don't lead up to our expectations, we're mad and we're disappointed in them. But really, we're not hurting them, we're hurting ourselves with these
Mm-hmm.
expectations. And so something that was recently said to me that really touched home is like realizing that while my mother is still my mother, that I have a higher mother, that there's this spiritual
Yes.
guidance that can be my mother, whether it's Gaia or whoever it may be to you.
I
That
love
you can,
that.
yeah, that you can go to this mother, and that
Mm-hmm.
can be your guidance, and that you put the faith that you have in that person, and that person will never let you down. And so
Yes.
there's something that really resonated with me, and working, like, how do I quit having these expectations for my mom and quit being disappointed in her, and
Yes.
all of these things. And it's not to say that she won't do something that'll drive me absolutely fucking crazy.
I'm sure
Yeah.
she will. I'll be like, every day I wake up, I'm just like, what she's gonna do to
Yeah,
me today?
I know. What
Yeah,
test are you gonna put
I
me through
know.
today?
And it's so
Yeah.
tough because, and of course, like kind of like you said, that everyone's like, well, it is your mother. You only get one mother. And it makes it so difficult
Yeah.
because, yes, that is your
Yeah.
mother. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you owe yourself not to,
Yeah. Yeah.
ugh. Anyways.
People pressure you for sure to forgive a family member who's done you wrong, and it's a lot more than like it's not even about forgiveness. It's about just personally you forgiving yourself for the things that maybe you've done when that person hurt you, and moving forward, because you can't change that person, who they are, what they've done. And so sitting around, and just saying, oh well, I'm going to forgive them and blah blah blah, that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
We're still people, and we still have hurt, and yeah, it is your mother, but I have a father and I haven't seen him anywhere, and if I saw
Girl,
him,
yeah.
I would not bow down with respect. So
I know. I do strongly
you know
believe that, like, that's something too that I've just told myself is that, yeah, we're supposed to respect our parents, but
yeah
sometimes, a parent could be anyone. It could be, someone who just kind of came into your life and had that role.
yeah
I've had my mother, but my mother is going through season of changes herself, and sometimes those
yeah
seasons don't always align with what season
yeah
I'm in, and
yeah
and unfortunately, I had to learn to just kind of remove myself from it because
yeah
you get pulled into this
yeah
deep darkness of despair, and
yeah
you're like, why am I doing
yeah
this? I should be happy. I have my health.
yeah
Yeah.
You have to have boundaries for
Yes.
sure with people, and that is, boundaries come in so many different shapes and forms. Like it's
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm not going to speak to you after 9 because I like to have time with my family. Or it may be, I know I committed to going to your birthday dinner, but I'm having anxiety and I'm just not going
Yes.
to be able to make it. And it's a lot of things with having boundaries, that we do things out of obligation. And that's one thing I think that I'm really learning is like, don't, like, if I'm feeling obligated to do something but deep down I really don't, I'll just send that person I'm so sorry, I'm really thinking of you, and apologize and let them know, like, I really wish I could
Oh
be there,
yeah.
but I have stuff going on, I really need to focus on myself. And I think that being transparent in that sense, like, I mean, if that person gets mad at you, then maybe they're
They're
not
just, yeah, they're not the
not
type of person you should have around.
yeah, for
uh,
sure, for sure.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
things certainly.
definitely.
Another thing too with the integration aspect of it is having like some type of a spiritual leader, somebody like a mentor, or whether it be a support group or a
Hmm.
friend that you get together with, once a week or once a month or something like
Yeah.
that. It could be random strangers on Facebook. I know me and you, we love our Facebook
Yes.
groups.
I know, right? I had
Yes,
to
so
unfollow them because some of them had me spending money. I was like, oh gosh, I gotta go. But and it's
yes,
so funny that you mentioned Facebook because I think that's another thing that's one of the things that I kind of struggle with is because, yeah, I'm cool with texting and interacting on Facebook, but there's some things that, you got to hear someone's voice. You got to,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
get so frustrated because there are times that I feel that, I've reached out to someone and they weren't there. Oh, I'm too busy or I'm doing this, which is understandable. I never get, because trust and believe I'm usually
yeah,
busy
yeah, yeah,
myself. But when
yeah,
I see that you're more willing to spend more time engaging with me on
yeah,
Facebook, then I'm just kind of
yeah,
like, okay, what part of the game
yeah,
is this? So I do feel that
yeah,
sometimes we need a mental check and say, hey, let's
yeah,
call and check and see because you never know.
for sure,
You never know what state of
for
mind
sure,
that person's in. Like,
for
you really
sure,
don't. And
yeah, for sure.
yeah, one thing I am glad is that, and I feel that everyone should, they should have that one person. You were my one person for a long time, but I felt like I was just, girl, I was like, I can't keep drawing Brittany into my
Oh
pit
my
of
God, yes,
despair.
you can.
You're
Yes, you can.
now you're my backup or my day contact. But
That
now
works
yes,
perfect.
but now it's like I do feel that you have to have that one person that you can say,
Yeah,
hey, I don't want to dump, and then you also have to be careful not to dump all that negative energy. Just say, hey, I'm having a rough day,
yeah,
and that person who they don't feel like you're just dumping, they're willing to
yeah,
just bring you out of it, and
yeah, for sure.
that's better than any Xanax, any.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
Yes, and
No, definitely.
yes. While we're talking about meds, I also want to share a personal, experience I just had. Is that I love the fact that there is medication out there. I was anti-medication, but in a sense, I do feel like sometimes medication is necessary. But
Definitely.
we have to be careful because I was
Yeah.
on like gosh, I think I got up to like 10 different meds, and
Yeah.
it got to the point where I clocked out, didn't have no emotion or anything. So my doctor
Yeah.
added one more med, and it literally threw me into this life-threatening disorder.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I had to stop my meds. I had to literally
Mhm.
detox. I felt like a crackhead. Like it literally
Yeah.
was like a crackhead because I was
Yeah.
detoxing stuff.
Yeah.
And it made me realize that, you know what, I became too reliant on that medication. Like
Yeah.
I should have been taking more time and energy trying to, kind of like you do, self-love. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that this was a great topic because, man, I
Yeah.
do feel that we struggle with that. We struggle.
Yeah.
It's either we
Definitely.
don't love ourselves enough, or we
Yeah.
feel like it's selfish of us to love
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but
The world definitely puts that image onto people where it's like, oh, you're selfish for focusing on
yes.
yourself, and oh,
Oh my
you're being
gosh.
so selfish. Yeah, bitch, I'm
Yes.
fucking selfish,
I
but guess what? I'm happy.
I know at the end of the day, because you know what, and I'm so I admire you for that because girl, you have figured out what made you happy and you've done it. But one
Yeah.
thing I can say that I struggle with, and the reason why I say admire you is because if someone was to ask Erica what makes you happy, I struggle with even forming a sentence because I
Yeah.
try to say, okay, they'll be like,
I
remove your kids, and I'm like,
I
oh
feel like it
shit.
should be, yeah, I feel like I should say my kids, or
I know,
yeah.
but to be honest with you, it's not even, you got to figure out something outside of those kids because I'm at a
Yeah.
pivotal moment where my
Yeah.
baby girl is an adult woman. And now I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
so now what makes me happy? So we really have to learn how to
Yeah.
also remove our kids. We got to figure out what
Yeah.
makes ourselves happy, you know?
Yeah, and that's the only way that you can be whole yourself, to help them find out their self-worth and their
Yes.
self-love as they get older too. And so, yeah, it's really hard, especially being a mom, because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a whole that
Yeah.
is a whole other topic in itself.
Girl.
But
But
how you completely sacrifice who you are
yes.
and the things that you love to make sure you're there
Yes.
always for your children. And so it can be
Yes.
really really hard to find that time. But again, just being a little bit selfish, and that's one thing that really was something that I learned last year, was being selfish with my time, and just like really like there's nothing wrong with it. Like
Yeah.
I'm the only person who's in control of my happiness.
Oh, yes.
TV can't make me happy, a boyfriend can't make me happy, my
Mm-hmm.
job can't make me happy. I'm the only person who can. And so if I
Yes.
feel like something is taking me out of my happiness, or it's not aligning with the things that make me happy, I just have to remove those things.
But what
So
if you're married to them? No, I'm joking. Shout out to CJ. My bad. Shameless plug.
I
But
love
no,
it.
but it's so funny that we're talking about this because a series that I'm trying to come up with is it's something that's so difficult to talk about, but I feel like it's necessary, and it is toxic moms.
Yeah.
Because you know, it's something that it's not even about our mothers, so to speak. It's about us making sure that we are
Yeah.
not passing that toxicity onto our kids. And I feel that
Yeah.
a lot of reason why is because we don't even love ourselves. So how could we give
Yeah.
love or show love if we don't even love ourselves? So
Well, you let
yeah.
me know when you get to that topic, because
Oh yeah.
my recent I went to Costa Rica recently, and I don't know if I told you, but I did ayahuasca.
Uh-huh.
And it's like a plant medicine, from like indigenous tribes, and I did 3 nights of ceremonies, and that it basically helps you focus on the things that you need to it helps you see the things that you need to see in your life, so that you can become at peace. And honestly, the whole journey for me was healing with my mother. And so
Mm-hmm.
each night in ceremony, it was like I learned something new, not about my mother, but about how to move forward for myself, and how I can heal, and maybe why I was mad at her, all of these different
Yeah.
things. And so it was really interesting experience. So I would love
That's
to jump on.
crazy. So is
Yeah,
that
it was
something that
really
you can
cool.
only do at Costa Rica? Because girl,
Uh,
I can't get on a plane.
Yeah. So there's certain like shamans here that will offer it, and you just have to find somebody that you really
Yeah.
trust.
Okay.
And it originated from Peru, and so mostly it's done in like South America, but there's a few people here that
Yeah.
offer
I would
their
love
service.
love to look into that,
Yeah.
because I've been
Yeah, we'll
really,
touch more
yeah.
on it for sure. I'll have
Yeah,
to
so
tell you all about
I'm
it.
gonna have to put that on my to do. But anyways, well,
Yes.
well,
I love it.
again, thank you so much
Yes.
for your time and your input,
Yes,
and
girl.
I
Thanks for having me.
really hope that you decide to come back and see how easy it
Oh,
is. I don't know what it is.
definitely
If
so
you,
easy.
if I'm sure anyone that's listened to my episodes, they're so used to hearing me and the fellas, and I'm just kind of like, man, where are my
Uh,
ladies at? I
I
just
love it.
but yes, I
Yes.
would love to have you again, Brittany. But thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Definitely.
And
Yes,
if you want
ma'am,
to
Miss
give your
Erica.
shop information, contact, whatever, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So my shop's Brittany Dean and Co. We're in the Cedars District in downtown Dallas. And you can follow us on Instagram at Brittany Dean Co. BrittanyDeenco.
And I'll make sure to put all that in the comments below. But anyways, well,
Sweet.
you have a good day. Talk to you
Enjoy the
later.
snowed in weather. Bye,
All
Miss
right.
Erica.
Bye.